A very, very good day to you wherever you are in the world. I am hugely and super excited to share my guest with you today. His name is David Fabricius, a world-class YPO resource and award-winning keynote speaker. David is renowned for his expertise as a firewalk facilitator, sales trainer, a business investment life coach, entrepreneur-educator, and author. And David's career is marked by his resilience and extraordinary achievements. He has shared stages with luminaries like Sir Richard Branson, Steve Wozniak, John Travolta, Gene Simmons, just to name a few that I know of. And David's journey really does embody something that perseverance and excellence comes out. He has survived 5 significant near-death experiences and earned numerous global awards. His work has gained worldwide recognition, including a feature on BBC's Prime Evening News, and he has influenced a diverse range of high achievers, from corporate leaders to Olympic champions to presidents and prime ministers of the world. And David's most acclaimed work is his global firewalk team building events, which empower individuals to overcome fear and redefine their limits. And these events are so transformative. The impact has been unbelievable, reporting between 26 and 300% performance increase within a mere 7 to 50 days. And with this, the training, his training and his background in special forces, and not only that, he's an experienced instructor in special operation groups. And David brings unparalleled insights to his work. And really today, wherever you are, be prepared and to be enlightened, as David really shares invaluable lessons from his extensive travels across 6 continents, offering insights that will really profoundly impact your personal and professional development. Without further ado, I would really like to welcome a dear friend and a wonderful guest into the room. Hello, David.
Hello, Philip. How are you doing?
I'm exceptionally well. How are you?
Yes, sir. Fantastic. Good to see you, my friend.
Oh, it's so good to see you, David. It really is. And thank you for making the time to join us on this Live, Learn, Teach, Inspire, because if there's anyone who's going to inspire someone, I would put you down at the top of the list. That's for sure. And I know we've got a short time, so David, I've given the audience an introduction on your background. Some questions I've got that I would really love to ask you, and sort of for you to sort of kick in would be something along the lines of, you and I've often talked about purpose and what is this all about, and can you share with us what you believe your higher purpose in life is, and how you sort of came to discover that?
Yes, thank you, Philip. So, I believe each and every one of us do have a spiritual purpose. There's a reason, a higher reason, a spiritual reason for being here on planet Earth. And I believe that collectively we also have a purpose. Our collective purpose is to restore the world to wholeness, which is not an easy thing to do in today's world. But we also have an individual calling. Each and every one of us have been given a gift by the universe, by source, creator, whoever you may think that to be. And it's up to us to identify that, to recognize it, to see that we have a gift, a talent, an ability. Then it's also up to us to develop it and then to share it with the world. Even if it only makes a tiny difference, that tiny difference is essential in the bigger picture. Without your contribution, there will be a hole, there will be an emptiness. We each need to bring our gift to the world. For me personally, this has been a lifelong pursuit to discern, to discover. I think discover is a little bit arrogant, it's a little bit egotistical. It is more a gift that is given unto us. It's more a discernment, it's more recognition. When we seek for our spiritual eyes to open and our spiritual ears to open, then we can see our vision. We can hear our calling. And when we step into our purpose, we feel passion. Passion is what comes out of purpose. And when we use our gifts for the purpose for which it was given, we take our water to where the thirsty people are. That is when we experience fulfillment and joy in the world. That is when we live as the best version of ourselves. So there's a lot more to this conversation. There is a very specific model for understanding this on an intellectual level, but then there's also a spiritual overlay. And for me, that spiritual overlay happened in the valley of death during COVID. I took a motorcycle and I went into the desert and I stayed in the desert. My intention was to live there for 40 days and 40 nights. Well, after 40 days and 40 nights, I was almost dead. And God still had nothing to say to me that I could hear at least. So I decided, well, I got to stay a little bit longer. That little bit longer, coming and going out of the desert, became a period of 3.5 years as a spiritual nomad on a personal spiritual vision quest to deepen my understanding, my sense of my own purpose. In between that, I went traveling the world, sometimes up to 9 months at a time overseas. I just got back to Vegas and stepping more fully back into living my purpose here again. So it's a much bigger conversation, but that's the short answer.
I mean, just fascinating just to hear about even the tip of the iceberg going into the desert. I know that's a whole journey and a story in itself, and I'm sure we'll hear a bit more about that as we proceed on this conversation. You talk about, and I love that you said that the arrogance of what, we live through life and we evolve, right? And something this is, I know you've done, just by the time the amount of travel you've done, the different continents you've worked in and delivered coaching and training to people and changed people's lives. How would you say your purpose has really evolved over time? Because I truly believe we grow, and I know you've grown extensively. So tell us a little bit about your purpose evolving over time.
Yes, I do believe there's an evolution, but I also believe there's a core to it that never ever change. like I said earlier, we each have been given certain gifts, a primary gift and maybe 2 or 3 supporting gifts. And from a very young age, I had a sense what my primary gift was, which was teaching, inspiring, training people, right? By the age of 16, I owned and operated a karate school. I was a Sunday school teacher. I knew I wanted, when I go to the military, to be an instructor. There was a very clear sense that what I do best is inspire, guide, coach, train, teach people. So I always came back to it, for a while I was in the desert, I made cutlery, I made knives, as you know. But I always come back to what I do, what is my core, and that is teaching. So I think for all of us, we may come and go, we may evolve, we may mature, we should, and we may become more spiritual in our understanding of what our purpose is. But ultimately, I think there's a singular purpose, even though it could look like it's a series of purposes. It evolves, the dots will eventually connect, and you will see the golden line. Right from the beginning, there is that one thing for you that you do better than most people on planet Earth. And even if there's others who do it better than you, it doesn't matter. You are perfectly designed for a certain kind of person, even if it's one that needs to hear it exactly the way you say it. The way you are will reach that person. And maybe if you're lucky, you will reach many. So yes, there is the evolution, but there's also a core which I think is consistent throughout our lives.
What a great answer, really, and just so beautifully put forward. I just love that. Something that I picked up on there is, the spirituality side of things. And one thing that I'm absolutely focused on is spiritual intelligence as well. And I know this is something very close to your heart. Tell me, could you elaborate a little bit from you sort of, how does it sort of play out on your day-to-day activities, the sort of spirituality side of things?
Thank you, Philip. Great question. So I have worked with the most accomplished people globally, and some very wealthy, very wise mentors, elders have told me, they say, David, never underestimate the spiritual dimension of life, the spiritual dimension of business, the spiritual dimension of food, of money, of sex, of anything. Everything and everything have a spiritual energy to it. Now, as a young man, one may be arrogant in your strength and in your personal confidence, and you may discount that. We all come across the law of attraction and so forth, those teachings, and it's very easy to discard it, especially as a male, to say, well, that is woo-woo stuff, right? It's not real. It's for people who don't want to work, who just want it to be easy. Having said that, now age 64, in a month from now I'll be 64, having traveled around the world, I can tell you I absolutely believe in the power of spiritual manifestation. Our prayers, our thoughts, our words, and our actions truly matters and create. We are co-creators in this world, and we are here. That's part of our purpose, is to co-create, right? And I was recently in Dubai, as you know, and my beloved Maria said she wanted to meet the Sheikh of Dubai that morning. She told me about 9:30 that morning. She said, I want to meet the Sheikh of Dubai. So I know she's a powerful manifester. She's a very powerful businesswoman. And I said, yes, of course. If anybody can do it, it's you. We were on our way to Dubai, to Abu Dhabi. No, sorry. The Sheikh of Abu Dhabi is the one she wanted to meet that day. Also the one of Dubai. But I was joking with her. I said, that's a really big ask. Even for you. We are both powerful manifestors, but, and I'm going to joke here, it's not about religion. I said, it's probably easier to meet Jesus today. All you need to do is die. Maybe you have a shot at meeting him, right? I was kind of discounting it a bit. Well, 9:30 that evening, I met with her, the Sheikh of Abu Dhabi, one of the 6 wealthiest men on planet Earth. My shoulder was about 4 inches from him. My eyes about 12 inches from him when I turned. right, and spoke to him. In the same day, 12 hours approximately later, we learned later that we knew that we were delayed, right? We were delayed by 2.5 hours to get to where we were going. The universe arranged for the ship to be delayed and for us to meet at that little particular point on planet Earth in the lobby of our hotel at 9:30 that very same night. So not only that, I have seen in so many other areas of my life. I did a presentation recently, and one of the most magnificent, most famous men on planet Earth came walking in and heard me speak and told my story about the desert and said, David, I like your story. I want to work with you. We need to partner up. And beautiful things are coming out of that. Those are not coincidences. There are too many of those things that others would say coincidences. Another final quick question, example here. A product. Maria and I was discussing a product that we want to bring to market. 3 days after discussing that, we're having dinner. We meet exactly the right person, globally, exactly the right person, a global entrepreneur with interest in 65 countries, and partnering with that person, strategic partnership to bring that product to market. There are too many of those good luck coincidences to be purely coincidences. So here's what I believe. The universe is benevolent. And the universe wants us to ask. Source, creator wants us to ask. And it's very generous. The universe and source is very, very generous. And when we do it in the right way, these coincidences, what other people call good luck, I call it blessings, will show up. So I'm a big believer in the power of spirituality and in spiritual entrepreneurship. Without being woo-woo, without being lazy, you still have to do work. You have to do your part. But some of it, you can simply surrender to the universe, and the right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances, the right conditions will show up. But when your destiny partners show up, or partners plural, you need to have the courage to say yes and to take action. You need to be ready. You should have done the preparation to be ready when that opportunity that you asked for come. And it's a beautiful thing. It works. I believe in it.
Goosebumps, goosebumps, absolutely, right from head to toe on that. I just love what you're sharing and how powerful it is. And like you, I'm fully focused on the whole vision. Nothing's ever achieved unless truly first imagined, and how you manifest and how you put things out there, and things such as when you think something, you speak it, you can hold it in your hands as well. And I just love the way you put that, David. It's unreal, alignment, and that happened for a reason, and it was just everything lining up, the universe serving you. And on that note, we talk about the spiritual intelligence, spirituality, and alignment, and that sort of thing. Is there a moment that you feel that most aligned with your higher purpose? Is there a moment that, or a couple of moments that really sort of gave you that feeling, that really sort of gave you that higher purpose?
Yes, absolutely. When you do what you were designed to do, when you walk in your purpose, when you use your gifts for the purpose for which it was given. When I speak to a large audience, when I train a small group, this morning I trained a real estate group, maybe 20 to 30 people. Early this morning in one of their meetings, I went in and did some work for them. I absolutely, absolutely feel it. I am built for this. This is what I do. And I'm overwhelmed with gratitude at the end of each presentation. I feel so enjoyed, so fulfilled that I know this is my thing. So for me, it's when I teach. I also feel some of it in nature, but not in the same way as when I teach. Out in the desert where I was for a while, it is so silent that there's one crow that used to fly most afternoons through that area, more or less the same time each day. And this crow raven would fly in the distance, and I could hear the slow flap of its wings. And in that absolute silence, I felt some of that, but nothing like when I'm doing my work. When I do my work, It's like a spiritual energy comes into me or exudes from me, and it leaves me absolutely fulfilled at the end of it.
David, I can relate to that in such a powerful way. Like you, when I'm delivering and focusing and coaching, I don't even know where it is. Just boom, it just
Yes.
arrives, and it's like a download from there, and you just build. And when you finish at the end of a session, and people are just overwhelmed, and the gratitude flows, it brings tears to your eyes, and it's something, as you say,
Yes.
it's a calling. And I think that's something you and I have a lot aligned, and that's something that you and I definitely are aligned on, and we're very, very blessed with. And I really say hallelujah, and I know gratitude's a huge part of your journey in life as well. And so thank you for that incredible overview. I know time is marching on, so I would like to sort of jump into another area that I know is a very powerful stimulus within your vision and focus of life, and that is when it comes to goals. Things like some of the goals that you set for yourself, both personally and professionally. I'd love you just to share with the audience some of those that have sort of served you along the way.
Absolutely. I'm a great believer in goal setting. Every morning, right here, I have my little goal book right here. I write my goals in it every morning. And I believe that you should take 5 goals. You can have more, 6, 7, 8, not too many, I think. One primary goal, one overarching goal, a breakthrough goal, that if you know that if you achieve that one goal, it will positively affect, enable all the others. So you've got to have one primary definite goal. But I like to write down at least 5, 6 different goals. They all support one another. Goal number 1 for all of us should always be to first become a better person for a better world for all. Then underneath that, your professional goal, whatever that may be, and other goals, personal goals. But the act of writing down 5 goals every morning, identifying at least 5 moving forward action steps to take that day, and being in relationship with at least 5 great people that can help you to achieve those goals. You help them achieve their goals, they help you achieve your goals, just like you and I are doing here right now. That's a beautiful thing. Goal setting works.
Love goal setting, absolutely. And on that note, is there a goal or goals out there that have taken many years for you to achieve? And if so, what kept pushing you? What kept motivating you to achieve that goal, or those goals that didn't? A lot of people think a goal and then boom, a bunny rabbit jumps out of a hat and everything goes boom. But we know it doesn't happen like that. So I'd love you to share with us sort of which 1 or 2 goals that took a lot longer than expected, maybe, or you knew that there was a goal at the end of that period of time, and what kept you motivated?
Yes, great question. So some of them take forever, right? And some are just very quick. They happen at God's speed. I mean, it's unbelievable how some just happen within hours or days or weeks. But for me, certainly, I have written something like 33 different books, self-published books. They're not necessarily available on Amazon. But I'm yet to have that formal book, that gold standard signature book that will be my legacy book. And that have been now good 30 years in the making. I'm right now writing that book with some of the most amazing people, a team of people, and one person in particular that is, one of the gods of writing in my field. And that one will make all the difference, I believe. And that one is a long process. Normally, I write my books in 20 hours. I sit down, I write a book in 20 hours, done. From 4 o'clock in the morning until 12 midnight, 20-hour work day. Not as popular as Tim Ferriss's 4-hour work week, right? Nobody wants to do the 20-hour work days. But another book of mine took 3 days. This one will take 9 months approximately. And so what keeps you going? Knowing that you have to do it, desire, hunger, There's just that something, that voice inside that says, keep going. This needs to happen. This is part of your legacy. So having enough hunger, having enough desire, enough pain. Um, People talk about writer's block. I go, you don't have writer's block. You just don't have enough life experiences yet. My problem is I have too much to say, too much to write. Is what do we leave out? That is really the conversation rather than what else can we include. Um, so if it takes a long time, that serves you. That is good because you're building more perceptions, more perspectives, more experience. And the more your reservoir of experience build, the more you can draw from that, the more clarity you get. And then eventually you can simplify it. So it's a good thing if it takes a long time sometimes. Also, I believe the universe, sometimes when we ask for something, it doesn't give it to us immediately because the universe want to make sure you are sure what you're asking for, that you really want it. You know, I went late last year, I went to Rome 4 times last year. And late last year, I went into a basilica, a church in Rome, the one close to the Colosseum. And I prayed. And I said, God, please pick a woman for me, right? The church on the outside, I still have the picture. The name is Maria. Maria, part of the church name. I met the Italian lady by the name of Maria very shortly after. So sometimes it literally happened within days or weeks. But again, I think sometimes it's good if it takes a little bit longer. Then you get to make sure what you ask for, right? That you really want it. The old saying is be careful what you ask for. You may
You,
get it.
you took the words out of my mouth. Be careful what you ask for, because let me tell
Yes,
you,
sir.
you better be prepared for it and be able to take it in whatever way it comes. Yeah, it's fascinating. And David, with your goals, I mean, I think something that I've learned along the way is creating habits and creating daily habits for ourselves and that sort of thing. How crucial do you think habit building is, and how important is it to building our success, whatever that might mean for someone?
Yeah, very much. So a lot of people have been bad mouthing motivation. Go, oh, it's not motivation, it's discipline. Listen, without motivation, you won't get started, right? Motivation is step one. That is the catalyst. That is generative. You need just that spark of motivation, which is more powerful than motivation, of course, is inspiration, right? That's more spiritual now. So, really, the transition needs to be from motivation to inspiration. But then ultimately, you have to develop through habit discipline. Discipline and habit is tied together. And that consistency of doing the thing that you need to do, the foundational things over and over and over and getting better at it, that discipline will then bring you to where you need to be. So pick a handful of good habits, 5, 7 habits. I created a system called the Vital 7, where I toured all around the world searching for the best practices in the 7 main areas of life. And I encourage people to develop a good habit, at least one good habit in each category. And whether you do that habit daily, some of them requires daily, others require maybe attention once a week, twice or 3 times a week, depending on what it is. But getting in that rhythm, that is important. And when you stay on that path long enough, there will be reward. As long as you learn from what you're doing, right? And you make adjustments. But absolutely, habits are crucial. I'm also a believer, start early in the morning.
Yeah, that's a great habit. Yeah, absolutely. Someone once said to me, for those people who lie in bed, you just do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rocket launch, and you get into that habit.
Yes,
You get into that habit,
yes,
and it's actually something
yes.
which really, really works. And funny enough, I know what's helped me with some habit with getting into habits, because let's say, for example, you have a slump in your fitness, and you think, crumbs, do I really? You say to yourself, how will I feel after that run, or how will I feel after that exercise? And you start to push yourself through. And on that note, is there a habit out there that you really struggled to develop, and how did you finally eventually master it?
Great question. I don't know if I've ever struggled to develop any habit if I really decide it is important. Once I decide it's important, it needs to happen, I just get on with it, right? Um, remember, I've spent 7.5 years in the armed forces, where you have to do things that are challenging, and you have to do it at uncomfortable times. You have to do it hungry and sleep deprived. So after that, everything else is pretty easy, man. When you come out of that environment into civilian life, it's all easy. You know, no big deal.
Love that. And as you, yeah, I mean, as you quite clearly said, there's definitely, in the military, it's very clear. There's no black or white. I mean, it's there's no grey, should I say? It's boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
And so
get
I
on with it.
imagine
Yeah.
that sort of starts to drive you and keep you very, very focused. And again, when we talk about habits, and I really appreciate your honesty and answer there, because when you do commit to something, I know you throw everything at it. If we were to encourage people, what habits do you believe people should cultivate for their personal and also their professional growth? What do you feel are just one or two, or maybe a handful of habits that could really give people that edge?
Okay. Very simple things that you can do is get up early in the morning, just before sunrise or as the sunrise, and try and get that first golden hour of light outside. Now, I know it's difficult in Scandinavia, London, etc., right? The UK in general, if it's rainy and cold and misty. But I think the habit of just getting outside early in the morning is very, very powerful. If you cannot do that, literally do what the old people did. Just go splash cold water on your face. Go to your bathroom, splash your face 3 times with cold water. You'll feel amazing immediately after. Yes, there are people who do cold water immersion and all of that. That's fantastic. But really, just a splash of water on your face gives you a lot of those benefits instantly. It really wakes you up. I'm also in the habit of putting a little bit of very good salt, like Celtic sea salt, like Baja Gold, any really good natural salt, not artificial, fake laboratory table salt. I'm talking real, God-made, nature-made salt. Putting a little bit of that under my tongue first thing in the morning, within the first 10, 15 minutes of rising, and drinking a big glass of good water, pure, clean water, not tap water, at least not in the US. Good water, pure water, filtered water, spring water. I have a place where I sit outside where I do some grounding. If you can get your feet on the ground, on the earth for a couple of minutes, 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes is great. Even a few seconds is fantastic. Again, I know it's freezing cold in the UK, Scandinavia, etc. in winter. But where possible, right? Get exposed to natural light. Do a bit of breathing exercises. Go for a walk, a brisk walk, doing breath walk. Go to the gym, lift a bit of weights. Get your body moving. Try and delay your caffeine intake at least by, I would say, the first 2 hours. Those are just basic good health habits. Other than that, a habit that I should have taken more serious. I didn't think I will live this long. I thought I will be dead, for sure. I thought I will be dead by this age. All the crazy things I've done throughout my life, 5 near-death experiences later. Save and invest more money. Now, I recently heard somebody give advice that I actually liked. The person said, and I think it comes from the Tate camp, they said, live on 50% of your money, of your income, as if you only have 50 days still to be alive. If you only had 50 more days on planet Earth, take 50% of your money, what would you do with it? But then the other 50% of your money, live as if you will live another 50 years. That is the area of investment and reinvesting for compound growth. Now, I know it's volatile. I know it's complicated. I know that, by 2030, the world's going to be very, very different from what it is right now. But there's something to be said. That's a good habit. Just put away 20% of your income. Take it, invest it in something that can make it grow. The greatest risk in life is to risk nothing, right? So, yeah, there is risk. But those are two good ones. For young men, focus on your purpose. Focus on developing and cultivating who you are, becoming better first before you start chasing women, before you get a woman pregnant, right? First go and become somebody first. Go win some awards first. Achieve something in life first. Get some assets. There's many things we could talk about, but those are just some things that come to mind.
Love the
June.
guidance. Love the guidance. Love it, David. Oh man, and I could expand so much into that whole area of just setting goals and setting a system in line. And talking of systems, that's something again that I know you are fastidious about. And share with us some of the specific system or methodology that you use to sort of structure your life. I know you talked about every morning you open up that book and you boom, 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 but there must be a bit more depth into your system and methodology that you sort of organize your work and life balance.
Absolutely. Thank you, Philip. So I worked with YPO globally. They're the most accomplished business people around the world. And with them, over a period of 30 years, I created the most comprehensive, the most advanced system on planet Earth. But it became so big, we had to cut back on it and simplify it back to 7 or 8 core concepts. So the Vital 7 or the Core 7 is a system. But here's the thing, it's a little bit bigger. That's a whole show on its own to discuss just briefly. So I alluded earlier that a very simple system is write down 5 goals every morning when you wake up, pray, visualize, affirm whatever it is that you're into, but think of it, what it is that you want to achieve. Mark Victor Hansen told me, say every morning, I am so happy and grateful now that I complete the sentence. So it's already existing. I am so happy and grateful now that I complete the sentence, what it is that you want, right? Then, as soon as you get up and you drink your glass of water, write down in writing 5 goals. Like I say, I carry this little goal book with me everywhere, right? And I write in it today, yesterday, every day, my 5 goals. I review it over and over. 5, 6, 7 goals at the most, major goals. I send text messages. I make phone calls. I connect. I stay in touch with 5 key people, significant people, not gossipers, not idiots, stoic, wise, dynamic, great people. And then I identify at least 5 actions I can take that day. On a Sunday, Jim Rohn, in his very last interview, he said this, the last gift he gave to the world. Every Sunday, review the last 6 days. How did it go? Then plan for the next 6 days to improve on the last 6. So that is a very simple little system. Then you may say, okay, I time block. I work 55 minutes, take a 5-minute break. Or I work 90 minutes, take a 10-minute break. Or I work a 4-hour time block, take a half an hour break. So those are all different systems, right? But the ultimate system is what I call the Core 7 or the Vital 7. And I would love maybe on a different show to unpack that one for you in more detail. It deals with your spiritual, your mental, your emotional, your physical, your financial, your social, and yes, your sexual life, the 7 most important areas of your life. If all 7 those areas work well, you're a very happy, fulfilled, healthy human being, prosperous human being. Now, in the Core 7, if you do the first 4 things right, number 5 follow, which is money. It's a natural byproduct. It's a natural outcome of doing the first 4 things right. So systems are very important because they give you a shot at real success. They cultivate consistency, and consistency then brings success.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. And David, I know you're a big one for writing and being on the phone and things like that. And I don't want to even delve into this, but I know for anyone out there who are looking at creating good systems for yourselves, there are so many wonderful tools out there, the technology out there to keep you accountable and that sort of thing. So, go out there and do your research on how to create great systems. I don't want to sort of dwell too much in that particular area because that is really something people can go and do their own research on. When it comes to obviously the goals, the habits and systems and things like that, you focus, I know, heavily on breakthroughs and the process. And something that I love to sort of delve into is the breakthroughs in the process. But can you recount a sort of a really pinpoint, a significant breakthrough moment in your career or personal life, and what led up to that? What was the outcome? What led up to that sort of significant breakthrough moment that either in your career or personal life?
All right, thank you, Philip. Everybody needs two systems. System number one is system for breakthrough. 7 steps to break through. System number two is the work-life integration, the work-life harmony, what we used to call balance. You first have to intentionally be unbalanced. You have to become obsessed. You have to really go for it to get that breakthrough. You need massive inspirational discontent. You need so much pain, so much suffering that you are broken down in it and go, either I die or I make this happen. Right? Where your ego get crucified, where you are humbled. And out of that pain, out of that hunger, you follow the steps for your breakthrough. And there are 7 very specific steps that are guaranteed to move somebody forward to that next level. But then it's not sustainable if you spend years and years in that absolute high-powered turbocharged mode. There is a price. You will potentially destroy your family, your health, or your soul in the process. People end up on cocaine and with all kinds of problems. So it's really, you need 2 of them. For me personally, I've had a 6,763.4% growth in business in 1 year. I've helped other people 26 to a 600% growth in about 30 to 50 days. Companies, 26 to 300% growth in 50 days, 90 days. Each one of those were huge reminders of what is possible, that we can have tremendous growth. So here are 2 major fears. Most people are afraid they will never become the person they truly want to be and live the life they always dreamt of. The other fear is those who've made it are afraid of losing what they have. So for those who have not made it to that level where they want to be as yet, you need the breakthrough system, 7 steps. For the ones who are making it and who have made it already, well, you have to be a little bit more defensive now. You have to be more protective, right? To keep what you've got so other people don't take it from you, right? Life happens. Happened to me, can happen to you, but I've learned. So those are 2 separate shows, the breakthrough show and the balance show, so to speak.
Great advice, guidance. And tell me, when we do put these processes and focusing on our breakthroughs, what is your sort of process in overcoming obstacles and challenge that sometimes do seem a little bit insurmountable, that seem, woof, that's massive. What do you put in place, or how do you sort of take on those sort of challenges, David?
Well, again, I've got a bit of a military attitude, right? For me, it's charge into the battle, right? Just head on, man. Proactive, engage, run the situation. Don't let the situation run you, right? That is my mindset. That's what I do. But if I really cannot, I feel stuck, then I surrender it to source. I prayerfully ask. Mark Victor Hansen taught me this. He said he's got a great book, him and his wife, Crystal, a book I highly recommend. The book is called Ask. Ask source, creator, the universe, God. Ask yourself and ask other people. Sometimes we just one ask away from getting what we need, the help we need. You just got to ask. Sometimes you got to go ask a lot of people. You got to ask God several times. You got to even ask yourself a couple of times before anything happens. But you got to ask. And then I would say mentorship. I have an 84-year-old mentor. He started mentoring Mark Victor Hansen from Chicken Soup of the Soul 50 years ago when Mark went bankrupt after a business failure, lost something like 2 million. He met this gentleman and he said, I want to do what you do. And 50 years ago, this man, Art is his name, lives in Malibu, California. He started mentoring Mark Victor Hansen. Mark Victor Hansen introduced me to him. He was also the mentor for Tom Hopkins from the art of the sale, right? The famous Tom Hopkins. So I have the same mentor now. So I go to my mentor and I say, how would you deal with this? What's your best recommendation, please? And having the 5 right people, I've got such powerful people in my inner circle of 5 that, when a problem arrives and I cannot deal with it by myself, in a small mastermind, a small incubation session, we discuss it. And based on their experience, we come up with a solution and go try it. And if it doesn't work, make adjustments. So those are some things, right? Just tenacity, your own desire, asking the right people, including the universe, your angels, whatever you believe in, and also having the right team around you, capable people.
Absolutely. Love that. It is who do we surround ourselves with? And one thing that
Here's
I
an
know.
example. Sorry, Philip, forgive me for interrupting. You are example. Remember when I went to Dubai and I said, hey, I've never been to United Emirates. What do I need to know about courtesy, etiquette, culture, etc.? You immediately send me all the information. Boom, boom, boom. Here's exactly what you need to know, David. And you were spot
Absolutely.
on. So that's an example.
Yeah, thank you. And it is just ask in life, and you shall receive, and ask nicely, and you will
Yeah.
receive more. This is something people are so afraid to ask in so many ways. But if I truly believe, and actually one of my colleagues, Leanne, who she really does have this amazing approach and attitude, and she will approach people with the most incredible energy, tonality, politeness, and I'm telling you, people literally trip over themselves to serve her and support her, which is just incredible. It really and truly is. So that is
Yeah,
a
but
very,
first
very
be a giver
important.
as well, right? You got to give. Remember when you and I first met in LA at Disney? You gave me a pocket hanky, a pocket square, right? I still have it, and
Wonderful.
I should have worn it for today, actually. But,
Uh,
you gave me a gift, and it made an impression. I often give people, when I meet them, I give them a silver dollar, a silver coin, pure silver. And I said, if this relationship develop, which I believe it will, and I wish it will, I hope it will, I look forward to one day giving you a pure gold coin, you know.
love it.
And I
Love it.
had people, I've given many coins away, silver and gold coins, and I have received many. People give them, I give them away again. I should keep them, but I give them away again.
That's
But be a giver. And remember this, if you're sincere, really a generous giver, at some point with some people, you also have to set boundaries, because some takers will never set boundaries. They will just take and take. You got to
that,
be able to be discerning, right?
that is true. That is so true. And yeah, I
We
think
don't give to get, but also don't let people, there are narcissistic people out there that if they see you a compassionate person, a giver, they'll take advantage of it.
yeah. And then I've been on that receiving end, and I'm sure you have through life, and you learn very quickly, or maybe sometimes a bit slower to learn, but it eventually hits you, and then you realize I'm going to put my lay down the gauntlet and say enough's enough. And I think we all can assess those people who just are takers. And really, this is something that we delve deeply into a lot of our training and coaching, and I know you do as well. And David, we're running out of time, which is such a
Okay.
regret. Time doesn't stand still for anyone. Tell me one thing what are some of the most profound lessons? So when it comes to wisdom and lessons for life, just give me one or two most profound lessons that life has taught you, just briefly.
Yes, Philip. After 5 near-death experiences, one major one, a kayaking experience in Austria in 1988, close to the ancient village of Hallstatt, I had a near-drowning experience. And in that near-drowning experience, 3 questions came to me. Did I love? And was I truly loved, sincerely loved? Not as an ATM, not for anything other than just for being me. Did I give love and did I receive love? Number 1. Number 2, did I live life fully? At the age of 28, I could not say yes. Now I can say yes. I can die fulfilled. I've achieved my life's greatest dream, and that is traveling all over the world, well over 100 countries. So, did I live? Did I travel far, experience life, taste life, the flavors of life? Number 3, Did I contribute? Is there at least one person whose life is better as a result of me having lived? So at the end of your life, there will be a spiritual question about your soul, most important. But other than that, these three things. Did I love? Did I give and receive love? Did I love well? Did I live well? Did I live fully? Did I experience life? And did I contribute? Did I use my talent, my gift for the purpose it was given for? Did I contribute it? And you will wish at the end of your life you did more of those three things, that you loved more, lived and contributed more. So at the end of the day, you know, I'm sitting in a beautiful car. There's a beautiful Bentley in the garage right next to me. So none of this stuff's not going to go with us. None of this stuff's going to matter on your deathbed. Those are the three things, four things: your soul, plus did you love? Did you live fully, engage life the way you wanted to? And did you contribute? That's all that will matter in the end. So get busy today. Do those things every day.
Love it. Love it. David, what a way to bring this to a close. It is. I love what you've just shared. And it's so profound and so powerful. And everyone out there who've had the privilege to engage on today's show and will hopefully rewatch it, or new people will watch the show, there's so much depth into what has been shared, and we've only just scratched the surface of how deep we could actually go into every single point there. And I had a million questions in my head to ask you in today's session, David. And I just want to say thank you so much for making the time and to impart this beautiful energy. I mean, your energy oozes through a screen. And ladies and gentlemen, when you meet David in a room, you know he's into the room before he even opens his mouth. I can assure you there's a presence, there's an energy, and I've got goosebumps sharing that with you. So, David, thank you for this incredible time you've given us. It's hugely appreciated, and I really pray and hope that everyone out there takes some action in their lives, and this has been inspirational for them. And this is what this is about. It's about living, learning, teaching, and inspiring. And that's exactly what you've been doing through a whole life. You've lived, you learn, you teach, and you inspire. And this is what this is all about. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I can't wait to catch up with you very soon. I know we will. And I'm going to say good day. Enjoy the rest of your day that lies ahead of you.
Thank you, Philip. You're a kind, gracious, and merciful host. I appreciate you. Much love, brother.
Take care, my man. Love. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you love the show, please rewatch it. Get some further golden nuggets from it. Like it, share it, pass it on. This is what we are all about, is giving people the tools to put their best foot forward. It's about changing lives and building confidence. This is what this is about. So it's been an absolute joy to host the show, and it's even more of a joy to have had David Fabricius on the show. And until next time, we'll be having a Live, Learn, Teach, Inspire during the month of June. Very best wishes.